Hey guys, I thought I would do a video on knife today. Mostly on counter knife tactics, but we'll be talking about the knife today and trying and bust the myth, and just stay with what's real, stay realistic, basically, as I said before. So, starting with the whole difficulty of the knife, dealing with an assailant with a knife. A knife is a weapon that can puncture and that can slash. So, and there are different types of blades. Yeah, just to show a few. I didn't take all my stuff out, because I got quite a lot, but just to show you guys. Puncture instrument, such as the screwdriver. Yeah, screwdriver, very powerful weapon, especially for punctures. Yeah, doesn't matter which angle, can be that angle, can be a reverse angle, can be a circular angle, can come from down. It is very dangerous instrument. Yeah, and you find that on every building site. Everybody's got one in their tool bags. I mean, it's something common. It's not a weapon by design. So you could still get away with having something like that in your bag with your other tools. But if you had it on your persona, if you are not wearing any work clothes and you're just walking outside with this in your belt or in your pocket, well, you will get in trouble, because this is an offensive, it could be regarded as an offensive weapon, a puncture weapon. You can't slash with that though, yeah, bear that in mind. Something quite similar that you find everywhere is the pencil. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. Let me take that with my right hand. It doesn't really matter what type of pencil. It could be that, it could be that. It doesn't matter. As long as there is a pointy end, it is potentially a very dangerous object. You can stick that in somebody's neck. Do you know what I mean? But the point that I want to make now is that these things on their own, when they're lying on an office desk, are not dangerous at all. Yeah, they're not dangerous at all. It takes the intention to cause deadly harm in order to turn this into a weapon. So bear that in mind. Yeah. So to continue here, I'm gonna speak slowly so that I have the time to explain a little bit. Now look, you got here, we were talking about pointy and puncture instruments. Now you have this, which is a box cutter, which is pretty rusty. I've had this one for quite a while. I need to change the blade. I used it for work purpose, yes, but just to show how dangerous these could be. Imagine how sharp the blade is. You can't really puncture with that, though it is quite pointy, yeah, but it's not the best puncture instrument. It is very good to slash though. You will slash right through a jacket, right through a jeans with that. Yeah, bear that in mind. Now, the scissors. Yeah, a pair of scissors is quite dangerous. It's quite sharp and it's quite pointy. You could actually puncture with that as well. Yeah, it's not the best instrument to slash, but you can still puncture and make a lot of damage with that. Right. Now, if we look at things that are more weapon by design, yeah, like the spider core here, yeah, it's one of my favorite. It is actually my favorite blade. The shape of the blade, the grip, and everything. I just love it. This, my friends, is very dangerous. As you can see, it is a puncture weapon. You will go through anything with that, and because of the serrated blades, you will go and slash through anything. That will open you up. That will really open you up badly. Okay. here you go. So you got different types of knives. You've seen that in my previous videos, which is, you know, you can open it. If I just a second, guys. If I can just do that, try not to cut myself. But look, this is something that you can open with one hand. Yeah. So, but there is no, it's not serrated, but it's still pretty sharp, and you can puncture with it as well. Okay. Here you got what you call throwing knives. You know, they're more like dart knives. Yeah. If you know how to throw knives, this is pretty dangerous. But even like that, you know, you can puncture with that. Very dangerous, guys. Okay. Now you got these little push daggers. That's a mini push daggers, yeah. Push dagger. Now this is very dangerous too. You can puncture and you can slash. It's not gonna go very deep, but I promise you that it will do a lot of damage if you know where you're going with it. Right? Now, different things. Yeah. You see that tube? Let me just a second. You see that tube of toothpaste? Yeah. Fluoride free, guys. That tube of toothpaste, yeah, could be very dangerous as well. You see that corner? You can slash with these two. Slash across the face, across the throat. It is very dangerous. So it just goes to say how dangerous all these things are. Yeah. Everyday utensils or weapon by design. Yeah. Know how to differentiate puncture weapon and slashing weapon, and puncture and slashing weapons. Alright. Now, this is a piece of plastic. Yeah. It's a piece of plastic, but it's really, really sharp. This is a puncture weapon. Yeah, you can do a lot of damage with that. This is a plastic knife, but it's hard, tough plastic. You will go right through somebody with that as well. And it's just plastic. Yeah. Now in regard to what we use to train counter knife tactics, yeah, I'm not very rich at the moment, so I build my own training equipment. You know, you can do the same, as long as it works for you. This is maybe like 20 leaflets, yeah, rolled and taped. That's what it is. You can go through somebody, you will still feel the impact, you might still get bruised, yeah. If you train the proper way, if you go full intent, full speed as somebody, you might still get bruised with this, and you will. But you will not kill yourself. You know, you will not get punctured, you will not get cut with that. Same thing with this. This is a plastic plumbing tube, yeah, with the insulation that goes around that you find on building sites, and insulation tape. Same thing with that, you know. You will feel it, that will not cut you. You will feel it. You might even puncture, you might even, you know, crack a few ribs. But that's not going to kill you. Yeah, that's the next step. And you got these plastic, you know, these are rubber knives. Yeah, pretty good for demonstration, pretty good for training too. But bear in mind when you're using these, yeah, that you know in your subconscious mind, you know that these are rubber things. You know you're not going to get hurt, so you're more daring, if that makes any sense. You're daring more training with this than if you were training with these, for example, or worse, aluminium trainers. Yeah, this is rubber too. Yeah, this is what they use in the former Soviet Union. This is what Russian army uses, this type of knives. Yeah, it hurts too once you get tagged with these, yeah, but you'll stay alive. I made that myself. This is from plastic, yeah, but with a knife, you crack that, you can make tiny little shanks. What do you think they're doing in prisons? Yeah, they will always find a way to make a weapon. You can still go through somebody's throat with this, I can assure you. Yeah. Now, I've shown you a bit everything that I have here. My point really here is when I see counter knife tactics videos, but they don't call it like that. I like to call it like that. People in Combatives like to call it like that because it's more proper. It's more appropriate to call it counter knife tactics than knife defense or knife disarming, or you know, you will never hear me talk about weapon disarm, except maybe for a gun disarm, you know. But weapon disarm and knife disarm, straight away there is a big lack of understanding when I hear people talking about knife disarm. First of all, you have to be able to catch the limb, which is very, very hard to do. When you have somebody with a firm intention to send you to the morgue with one of these, well, it is really, really hard to catch the limb. With the adrenal stress, with everything that comes into play and how you're gonna feel at this moment, it is gonna be really, really hard to stop his limb. Yeah, and I see a lot of people focusing on the knife hand and focusing on where the knife is. And if you focus on the knife and you have somebody who knows what he's doing with the knife, it's like trying to follow a fly that's flying at full speed. You will not be able to do that. It's just not possible. Yes. So I always say rather focus on the shoulder, because wherever the shoulder is not going to move as fast as the hand, the knife, the fly. Yeah, but the fly won't be far from the nest, so the knife won't be far from the shoulder. Focus on the shoulder. Yeah, but that is, I don't want to get too much into details. I will do some videos to show you how to counter. Yes, but this is not the point here. The point here is to explain to you why there is a serious lack of understanding when people speak about knife disarming. Yeah, the problem is that everybody believes that it is the weapon that poses a threat. Well, the weapon on its own doesn't pose a threat. Let me show you something. You see all these? They're nicely on my divan. They don't pose any threat to anyone. They don't pose any threat to me or to anyone. Why? Because they're not moving. Why? Because they're not in my hands. But why? Because I do not have any intention to cause deadly harm. That's what it takes. That's what is dangerous. That's where the danger is. The danger is the assailant's firm intention to cause deadly harm. That's what you have to disarm. And it's not, I wouldn't use the word disarm, I would use the word neutralize. That's what you have to neutralize. You have to shut the threat down. And the threat is not the weapon, the threat is the mind. The weapon is the mind. Shut the mind down, take his consciousness, knock him out. Take his mobility, break his leg, take his eye, blind him. Yeah, these are the stuff that you want to do. You know, if you're lucky enough to catch the limb and grab the weapon and bite the knife off his hand, bite his face off, bite his Adam apple off, you know, do what you have to do in order to stay alive. Yeah, this is combatives. It's not martial arts. So, you know, don't be really, really careful when you hear people talking about knife disarms and worse, machete disarms and all that stuff. I would never try and go empty-handed against a long blade. No chance. Even against a little blade, I would avoid at all costs to go empty-handed. And if I go empty-handed, yeah, you need to be prepared psychologically to get cut and get stabbed. So what is very important is to deal with the mindset, is to deal with the mind, shut the threat down. So forget about I know it's very, very hard because you get the knife, you get the weapon right in front of you, and you're like focusing on the weapon, on the threat. Yeah, it seems to be the threat, but it's not. The real threat is the mind, is the assailant's combative mindset, and that's what you have to shut down. So, you know, deal with the root of the threat, deal with the source of the threat. That's why I'm gonna show you, I got a picture here which I'm gonna put on. Using the analogy of the tree. I love trees, don't you be cutting or hurting trees, we won't be friends. But just for the analogy, just in order to explain, the weapon is the branch of the tree, and the intention to cause deadly harm is the real thing, is the trunk of the tree. If you want to cut a tree down, don't start by cutting branches. The tree will still be there. You will be cutting so many branches until your saw, whatever you're using, is not going to be sharp enough to continue cutting all the branches. Cut the trunk and it's over. Rip the whole thing and with the roots, and the thing will never grow again. Yeah, just for the analogy. Don't do that to a tree. I love trees. Yeah. But for the other analogy, yeah, think of a drill. Yeah. The weapon is the drill bit. Yeah. The real thing that you want to do is pull the plug. Yeah. Pull the plug of the drill. Yeah. If you pull the plug, there is no drill bit, there is no drill, there is nothing working, yeah? But if you just focus on the drill bit, well, my friend, you're gonna have a hard time, yeah? So be ready psychologically to get cut and stabbed, and it's your mindset, it's not the technique, it's your mindset. What are you ready to do in order to survive, yeah? So bear that in mind, folks. Really, what I'm trying to get you to understand here is it's principle based, yeah. I would like you to understand principles and think principles and concept rather than technique. Technique is not good enough, because you need a particular technique for a particular attack. You need it's too codified, too complicated. You want to think principles over technique any time of the week, any time of, you know, any day of the week. So that is what I wanted you to understand. Also, when you train with knives, yeah, if you really are going for it, which is what you should do if you are serious about developing real skills, don't forget to protect your eyes. Yeah, very important. So, you know, ski mask, any type of goggles, you know, any type of protective goggles will do. Yeah, it's better to think about your eyes, because an accident is very, very quick to happen. Yeah, and once you lose your eye, it's fucked, it's over. Yeah, so bear that in mind, lads. Have a good day. Bye bye.